Moving on to chapter 6 of the phase, and this chapter is about deepening. And so this is similar to what I've referred to in the past as dream stabilization techniques. However, most of the time when I'm talking about it more from the perspective of you already being within a dream. So most likely probably through like a dream-induced lucid dream scenario where midway through the dream you get lucid for whatever reason. But really you should be doing this whether you get lucid through a DILD or a dream-induced lucid dream or a wild or awake-initiated lucid dream. Like one of the first things you want to do there, and this should be built in deep enough where it's almost like an automatic reaction anytime you do get conscious within the dream or phase state, is to try and solidify, stabilize the dream or deepen it. However, he's talking about it more from the perspective of an OBE, where like, immediately after separating from the physical body, whether you show up in your room or in some other environment or just in blank nothingness, one of the first things you want to do in that situation is to try and deepen that experience. And so he writes, deepening refers to techniques that induce realistic perception and awareness in the phase state. Deepening should only be performed following complete separation from the stencil or physical body. If initiated before separation, the phase may end prematurely. And then he breaks them up into primary and secondary techniques. And for the most part, primary techniques would be used if you're already within, some sort of, you're in your bedroom or some other dream environment. And then the secondary techniques, where they could be used if you are in your bedroom or some other dream or phase environment. Those are primarily used if you're in like blank nothingness, or basically you're in an environment, you feel like you're separated from the body, but you still are in like blank nothingness, kind of like what you're seeing behind your closed eyes. All right, so primary techniques first. The two principal objectives are complete separation from the physical body and anchoring the perceived body within the phase space. If you use a separation technique, like, trying to sit up or rise up out of your body, you should try to go to a posture that is as different from the position that your real physical body is in as much as possible. So typically you're probably lying down. So if you separate, go into a standing 90-degree position to that. And then for the other primary techniques, he breaks them down into palpation, or like grabbing stuff and feel them, and then peering, or like looking at something. So for the palpation one, you basically grab anything that may be found in the immediate surrounding area, and then you feel that thing, right? And you want to stay in constant motion, so you don't want to just hold it and just keep it there. You want to keep running your hands over it so you can get as much of that physical sensation as possible. If there is nothing to really grab or that close to you, you can rub your hands together. He also recommends blowing on your palms as a way to help deepen the phase state, which is an interesting one I've never tried. And then for the peering one, which is similar to what I've referred to as my active staring technique. But he writes, peering should be done at a distance of 4 to 6 inches from the object within the phase. A practitioner should glance over the minute details of objects and surfaces to bring definition to the phase space while increasing the quality of vision. Attention should not remain on one area of an object for more than half a second. So similarly to if you were feeling an object, you want to keep running your hands over it. If you want to do this peering thing or this active staring thing, you want to keep looking around the object, trying to find more little pieces of definition. And then you can also combine these two, which you typically probably should be doing, even if you are grabbing an object and feeling it. Also combine staring at it and try and bring out more of that definition and detail. If some sensations are lacking, or if one of the 5 senses is dull and vague, then that sense needs to be heightened as much as possible, right? So if your vision is not that clear, try the peering one. If you're not having enough physical sensations, go with the feeling nearby objects one. And then for the secondary techniques, again, these are primarily aimed at using if you feel like you're separated from the body, but you're in like blank nothingness. However, again, they can be used if you are in an actual dream or phase environment. So the first one is vibration. The vibration technique should be used if sensory amplification techniques do not work. So, like the whole peering and palpation thing, or when the practitioner in the phase is located in an undefined space where there is nothing to touch or look at. It's normally quite easy to create vibrations by thinking about them or by straightening the body without using muscles. An advantage to this technique is that it does not require any preliminary actions and thus may be practiced at any moment. And then for these, it's kind of like the whole cycling technique thing where you try them for like whatever 5 to 10 seconds or so. If they work, great. If they don't work, then you switch to a different technique. So vibration was the first. Second one is aggressive actions, where you run, roll, perform gymnastics, or move arms and legs to the maximum ability that you can. And then even if you pop up into a blank nothing space, you just wave around your arms and legs where they should be. And then imagining reality. This is one I've never tried. A practitioner aggressively imagines being located in the physical world, experiencing its intrinsic reality of perception and not in the phase, or not in that whole blank nothing area. Deepening using phase objects. So this is similar to what James Bray recommended in his book, The New Frontiers of Lucid Dreaming, where, you know, for example, you could imagine you have like some kind of totem or some kind of, you know, lucky lucid dream inducing thing in your pocket, pull it out, hold on to it, and that could help deepen it. Or, you know, you could try to imagine or expect to have like some kind of like lucid dreaming pills in your pocket, so you can reach and hopefully find those and then eat that, and that can help deepen the experience. And then the last one here is diving head first, which is an interesting sounding one. So diving head first is used if other techniques do not work, or when the practitioner in the phase is located in an undefined space where there is nothing to touch or look at. This technique is performed with the eyes shut. The practitioner literally dives headfirst into the floor space at the feet. A feeling of movement away from the physical body will immediately arise during the flight down, and the dive itself will be experienced as if it's really happening. So that sounds kind of like a fun one. I would imagine if you do that, even in like a dream environment that you are seeing, kind of like just closing your eyes and like spinning around is a good way to kind of change the environment that you're in. But I imagine you close your eyes, even if you are in a, you know, already in the dream environment, plunge head first, you'd probably just pop up into another dream. So that could be a good way to kind of just like, you know, you don't like the dream environment you're in, try this technique, maybe pop up in a better one. If you don't like it, try it again, and then rinse and repeat until you land in an area that, you know, you want to go ahead and explore within that phase or lucid dream environment. And with that said, yeah, that wraps it up. Until the next video, keep your phase practice legit.